everybody ready?
I guess.
I don't think I'm going to like this session.
Don't be dumb.
Oh. Wow.
What are you staring at?
The empty chairs. Empty chairs make me nervous.
How come?
You tell me.
Well, there's one way to make sure an empty chair isn't empty anymore. Watch.
He used to sit apart from the rest of us.
Robert?
Who else? I can still see him sitting there. He always said he liked to observe. He'd never joined the group.
I remember.
Let's go, people! We're all here? Good.
Oh, but Robert.
Is that supposed to be funny?
Lighten up.
I may be imagining things, but I'm getting the feeling people are uptight. Am I wrong?
Huh.
Care to elaborate?
I've got nothing to say.
How about you?
I'm a recovering drug addict. Everyone knows recovering drug addicts never have anything to say.
When I was on coke, you couldn't shut me up. I didn't know what I was saying, but I sure could talk. I did a lot of coke.
Robert was like that sometimes. That's when I can tell when he was using. He'd run off at the mouth, non-stop.
I could always tell because of the cigarettes. 3-4 packs. Robert sure could smoke.
And drink. Last time I saw him, he said he wasn't drinking anymore. Only beer. Said beer didn't count.
And we all agree about that cop-out.
2 6-packs on his last birthday. Maybe more.
How old was he on his birthday? I forget.
Does it matter? He won't get any older.
He was 16.
No, he wasn't. He was 15.
He drove a car.
He didn't have a license.
Big deal. No license. Public enemy #1.
I have a suggestion.
Shoot.
Don't say shoot. I'm clean. Only kidding.
Your sense of humor stinks.
So sue me.
Anyone care to hear my suggestion?
Okay.
Why not?
What is it?
We stare it in the face. Robert's dead. Overdose. The medical examiner said there was enough oxy in his system to drop an elephant. And all of you have almost been there. We all knew Robert. We all liked him. At least, I think we did. And we'll never see him again.
He was a great guy.
How would you know?
Want to make something of it?
Why don't we just forget about our usual session when we talk about Robert? He was sitting in here with us last week. Right there.
I don't want to talk about Robert.
Chicken?
I don't like to think about dying. People our age shouldn't die.
Why?
It's not right.
If she doesn't want to talk about it, she doesn't have to.
That was Mindbender. Last week, writing our own obituaries, I had bad dreams all night.
I wrote I was going to die when I was 102. I want to change that. I want to make it 110. I want to die of old age.
I thought writing our own obituaries was stupid. I mean, how do I know how many kids I'm going to have? Or what my partner's name is going to be? Gruesome.
I didn't think it was gruesome. I found the exercise interesting. Most people don't get to write their own obituaries.
Lucky them.
It helped me.
How?
Made me less afraid.
Of what?
Everything. Other people. You know what I'm wishing? This second. I wish I was high. I wish I was as high as I could get. I wish I was so high they couldn't get me down. I wish. You know what I wish? I wish Robert was with us tonight. That's what I wish.
If you guys would rather just have our normal session, that's fine with me. This may be something you'd rather not deal with.
Why not?
You tell me.
Let's do it.
Agreed?
Agreed.
Agreed.
Okay.
Very well. Who wants to go first? How about you?
No sweat. I'm easy. My name is Brooke. I'm 17 and I'm a recovering substance abuser. Grass, cough medicine, meth, you name it. The thing I remember best about Robert was his optimism. I guess you could say Robert was about the most optimistic dude I ever knew. One week he was going to be a brain surgeon and no one could tell him any different. The next week he was going to be a government agent for the CIA. And I mean, like, he believed it. And after a while, I believed it too. Once he told me I could always count on him if I needed help. Oh yeah, I said, you can always count on a drug user to let you down. Look who's talking. I ought to know. He said he was going to help me fix up this old wreck vehicle I had. And one Saturday morning, before my folks were even up, he was out in the field tinkering on the engine. I couldn't believe it was him. His eyes weren't watery and his nose wasn't running. And boy, did he work. He actually got that heap humming. He was a great mechanic. The best. And he loved machinery. Told me he was going to open up a string of garages and repair shops, foreign cars mostly. I asked him if that was going to be before or after the CIA. Funny thing about that, he didn't remember about the CIA. He didn't remember about wanting to be a brain surgeon either. But man, he was sure he was going to open up those garages. Like I said, the thing I remember best was Robert's optimism. I mean, he was really into being positive about the future.
Someone else.
name is Danny. I'm 15. I'm a recovering substance abuser. Alcohol was my thing.
Is your thing.
That's right. Alcohol is my thing. You name it and I drink it, or I did. Vodka, gin, tequila, wine, Kahlua with cream, Kahlua without cream, brandy, it didn't matter. Whatever my parents had behind the bar was fair game. Haven't had a drink in almost 5 months. Robert was funny. That's what I remember best. He was funny. He knew the most terrible jokes I ever heard. He'd see me when I was down, out of it, and he'd make me laugh. I don't know how he did it, but he made me feel I was... I don't want to sound foolish, but he made me feel I was important. I never thought I really counted for much. No one else did either. Certainly not my folks. I guess you could say that's why I drank, but who knows? There was this one time in math class when I said to him, "Why are you such a boost to me?" And he said so casually, "Why not you? You think you don't matter or something?" Then he told this truly gross joke about a skunk that got squashed by the highway. But what he said got me thinking. Why not me? I matter. I do matter. To myself, if not to anyone else. I just wish I got the chance to tell him. Thanks, Robert. You knew a lot of lousy jokes, but you were a good friend.
Hi, I'm Corbin. I'm 17. I'm a recovering substance abuser, weed hash. I'll be honest with you. I didn't like Robert when I first met him, but I figured he might be a good connection. Money was no problem for me. I was the best thief in town. I never took from my parents. That would be a dead giveaway. I knew how to cover my tracks.
What do you want from us? The Congressional Medal of Honor?
Let him go on. Continue.
Anyways, he was out on the hill behind the school tennis courts. I figured he might have something I could score. And I was right. He had this kind of funny look in his eyes. I figured he was nodding. He asked me if I ever thought about all the people in the world. I could answer that easily. Why should I? I mean, what do all the people in the world do for me? He said it made him sad. The world, that's what he said. But anyways, he had a joint. I asked, he said he never liked to use a pipe. I asked, how much? He said, take it. You probably need it more than I do. I mean, he gave it to me for nothing. Why'd he do that? I mean, I didn't do anything for him. He barely knew me. If you're thinking he was pushing, you're wrong. But, anyways, what he said got me thinking. And for a long time, I was sad. Sometimes I wish he didn't start me thinking. But then I wouldn't be here with the rest of you guys, would I?
Someone else?
Hi, my name is Blake. I'm 18. I'm a recovering substance abuser. Tranquilizers and oxy. Couldn't get enough. There weren't enough dealers to satisfy me. I met Robert when I was living on the street. Some character tried to make off with my sleeping bag, and Robert chased him down and got it back. I don't have to tell you how much of a nut I thought he was. On the street, who sticks their neck out for someone else. He borrowed my comb and asked me my name. He was real friendly. Smart, too. Street smart. Could tell you anything you wanted to know. Who was dishing out free food, location of the free clinic, what empty building was the safest. That's how come I got to be here. When I thought I couldn't take it anymore, Robert told me about this place. I didn't expect for him to show up. That was a big surprise. I know he said he was only checking things out, but I do believe he wanted to be a part of the group. Just couldn't admit to himself that he needed help. We all know that feeling. I guess I'll always have my own special memory of Robert. Chasing down the street after my sleeping bag. One other thing. I think he was lonely. I think he kept himself moving so no one would notice. Especially himself.
Lonely? Please, give me a break.
Anything you want to share? How about you?
I'm thinking.
You?
Sure. My name's Jabrari. I'm 18. I'm a recovering substance abuser. Blah, blah, blah. I wasn't particular. If it had an alcohol content of 1%, if it came in the shape of a pill or a powder or a needle, it found a home with me. On the streets, they called me Garbage Pail. I can relate to Robert. I mean, the OD part, at least. I know everyone's going to say it was an accident, but I think he had enough. That can happen, you know? Oh, yes. Yes. Once, when I was high, I did this with a dull razor blade. Stupid kid stuff, you know? But I thought, what'd it matter? Who'd care? Things can pile up, you know? It's like 10 people trying to get through a revolving door. The door jams and no one gets through. I didn't know Robert too well, but one time we had a great talk about things you can grow in a garden. And no, I don't mean pot plants. I mean things like flowers.
What?
Flowers.
Huh?
Flowers! And vegetables. I thought the dude was a farmer. No, I guess I didn't think that. No one would take Robert for a farmer. Farmers don't go 3 days without sleep, do they? Anyhow, I couldn't believe all the things he knew about. I mean, what do I know from a lilac bush or a cucumber? I asked him one time, how come we're so interested in things like that? And he said to me, he liked to watch things grow. I couldn't believe it. I thought that was so deep. We were going to have a long talk sometime about things, you know? Politics, rock bands, the universe, out-of-body experiences. We never got around to it. And now it's too late.
Still thinking?
I'm always thinking.
Is there anything you want to share?
This whole thing's a bummer. But what's one more bum on the road to life? Fight or flee, right?
Those are the options.
I don't run away anymore. Not running away isn't easy.
No, it isn't.
About Robert.
Got a name?
Got a problem?
All right. Play by the rules. My name's Shyla. I'm 19 and I'm a recovering substance abuser. I only had one friend. I only wanted one friend. I only needed one friend. Crack. You could keep your liquor and your nutritious food and your warm home. If I could smoke crack, I had it all. I mean, all. Or at least I thought I did. I wasn't scared of anything until Robert told me I was. Boy, did I laugh at him for that. Then he spelled it out for me, like a teacher writing something on a chalkboard. He said I was afraid of coming down. He said I had to keep my head twisted because I couldn't stand myself when I was clean. That shook me up. Honest. Sounds simple, but I never thought about it that way before. When I was smoking, everything looked different. No problems. And when I wasn't smoking, I was always scared. The days I couldn't scrape up some money were, well, felt like I was living in hell. I felt like my skin was on fire. You know how I got to this place? Robert brought me. He didn't stay. I turned around and he was gone, but I thought to myself, man, Robert knows what it's all about. One very self-contained dude. Nothing's gonna get him down. He'll beat the odds. The last time we talked, he said he was joining the Marines. Didn't matter that he was underage, he had ways. He always talked about his folks. He made them sound rich and famous and beautiful. But the thing was that he never seemed to go home. He was always around someplace, somewhere. I think Robert understood a lot about other people, but I don't think he understood himself. Maybe he didn't see enough of the world, or maybe he saw too much, or something like that.
How come I was the only one to show up at the funeral? Where were the rest of you?
I didn't hear about Robert until after the funeral.
Same here.
It was only me and some old people who said they were neighbors. It was the first funeral I ever went to for someone my own age. Talk about a downer. I've been depressed all week.
Let me ask you all something. How many of you think Robert committed suicide? How many of you think it was an accident? Maybe you don't want to think about it either way.
What do you think?
What I know is there was too much of a bad substance in his body and it killed him.
Cop out, cop out, cop out!
Accident or deliberate, drugs killed our friend Robert. Those obituaries I had you write last week. If you remember, Robert didn't read his out loud. I have it here. And I think one of you should read it for the rest of us. You're the only one to make the funeral. I think it should be you.
Robert A. Bradbury, 60, of Simi Valley, died last Thursday of natural causes. The son of the late George A. and Margaret Bradbury, he was born in Los Angeles, California, where he spent his early life. He served as a major in the United States Marine Corps and was president of Bradbury Garages Incorporated. Mr. Bradbury had one of the finest farms in Simi Valley, and he was well known for his work with various charities. He is survived by his wife, Louise, a daughter, Jill, a son, Edward, and his dog, Amigo. In lieu of flowers, donations can be made to the Friends of the Earth Society and Save the Elephants Foundation.
He wrote very well, didn't he?
Robert was no dum-dum.
He scribbled something on the bottom.
It's a poem.
There is a land, so I've been told, a place for you and I, where we will walk forever in the far and distant sky.
His heart broke. That's what happened. That's what killed him.
He overdosed.
Yeah, I know. He overdosed.
Robert doesn't have any more chances. But you do. Why don't we all take a moment, stand up, and just remember Robert in our own way? Just for a few moments, that's all. I will see you all next week.
You knew a lot of lousy jokes, Robert. Thanks for letting me hear them.
I'll stick with it. One more week for you, Robert.